Hello, good afternoon. Thank you guys for joining me in this session. This is my actually fourth session of this week. If my voice starts to disappear, please bear with me a bit. My name is Adam Mazouz, a senior cloud solution engineer, working here for PureSearch for the past 3 years, and also I'm a vExpert for this year. In this session, I'm accompanied with two of my friends, Tony and Mark, and I'm sure that you're going to be having all of those characters as well in your life. So let me tell you a story, right? So I'm gonna call this story a day in the life of a DBA and infra admin. Think about Tony, the DBA. He wants to have some backups to his databases, right? He has a VM, he has a SQL database, he wants to back up. He goes to Mark, the infra admin, says like, hey, can you take a backup of this VM? And hey, consider it done. But when Tony started to look at this, how he can take a backup of that SQL database, he started to realize that there's a lot of things he needs to go through. The vSphere client, the storage UI. He needs sometimes to automate stuff, so he needs to know about where to start, right? So he goes back to the DBA Mark, and he said like, hey, please let me know which one what's your volume name? And Mark does not know about that because all of his vision is, I know how to access the operating system. I know which drive letters, mount points, right? And at the end, Tony manages to take a backup for Mark. However, a few days later, the DBA comes back to the infra admin like, hey, can you please refresh that database? And then the conversation starts again. But at that point, the infra admin realized that there is a new backup SDK that the backup or the DBA admins can utilize. And he goes like, oh, do you know about the backup SDK for the vVols or for any physical server that you have your database? Like, yes, here he is. So in Pure Storage, we thought about these problems. There's a lot of people really are best of how this workflow works. If you need just to take their databases to be backed up, or like any application running on a Windows server. So we came up with this backup SDK that it can be installed through the BS gallery. And for now, as a beta version, it's only Windows servers, and it can be called remotely any machine that has PowerShell installed in it, right? And the other thing we put in mind here is that it's no metadata involved. So there is no single point of failure when you're creating your backups. I'm going to talk about this in a few seconds. So why we've created this, right? As I mentioned, previously we have something, we have an extension for the SQL Server Management Studio, if you know about this, but it has a limited scope. It's only designed for Microsoft SQL on Windows. So we wanted to decouple those backups from a SQL server and enable any application on Windows. So as I mentioned, no metadata, so there is no single point of failure. And also, there is no hard coding into the extension. So there is no need to tie down the PowerShell SDK, what we have, a Pure Storage PowerShell SDK, into the VSS hardware provider or any SQL writer. So you can have that enabled to any application, and then you can take crash consistency, or if your application allows application consistency, you can do that as well, like similar to the SQL 2022, the T-SQL feature. So any database that you want to take a snapshot for. So how it works, simply by the admin who cares about which drive letter or data wants to back up needs to go and send out or execute a new volume set. A volume set is just, think about it as a logical group where I can group my volumes, right? Or my drive letters from someone who cares about just the drive letters or a mount point. So now the DBA has the D and A, which the data volumes and the log volumes. Put them in a volume set. Now I want to invoke a snapshot job. This will create me a protection group. Either I'm going to create a new one, or I can select an existing one. And then the second thing here, I want to utilize this. So I took a snapshot. So what is the use cases I have in mind? As a DBA, the first thing comes in mind, hey, I want to refresh my dev test to the latest version of my production database, right? So I might just go and create a new test VM and then just refresh that databases from my vVols attached volumes. the way to do that is just executing the mount snapshot set. The mount snapshot set is just going to tell me, hey, which volume set I want to take back the snapshot, and then go through, enumerate through the snapshot history, get that the latest one, and then mount it to a new server. So it can be back to the same server or any remote Windows machine, right? The last use case I want to mention here is we can take that protection group or the volume set that we protected and replicate it to a different protection group in a different flash array. So I can remotely send that, replicate it using replicate now. We have this flag there in the invoke snapshot job, or you can go and configure your protection group with replication frequencies or retention, however you want to do it. I'm going to go into a demo, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to protect, taking a backup of my Windows SQL database that has vVols-based disks attached to it. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is, let me skip a second. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is that this is my database. This is exactly what I'm going to protect, right? It can be one database. It can be multiple. The second thing I'm going to show you is now this database resides in the data Z. So this is the Z. This is the drive letter I want to protect. If I'm going to explore, this is where I have my data and log in the same file, which is not the best practice, but just for the demo now here. Now, as I mentioned, I want to create a volume set. In order to create a volume set, the best practice is to tie down that VM into its persistent ID. So if the friendly VM name will be changed, the ID won't be changed, right? So this is my source. I'm going to create now the volume set for my bath Z. So only one vVol will be inside this volume set round. The second thing I want to do is invoking the snapshot job. Almost similar flags. It's just the only thing is now I'm going to create a big group because I don't have one already. I can pass it to an existing one, or I can do a best match. So I can go through a couple of protection groups that have already the disks. I just recorded this morning, and I think I have already the suffix, so I just need to change it. I'm just going to add something 2023. So now it's going to create my big group with this suffix in it. And every single protection group created by this commandlet is going to start with BSP. So if you have some auditing, you want to go through like what kind of snapshot I created with this backup module, I can do that. Now, I took a snapshot. Let me try to refresh my database. So I'm going to go back now to go through a couple of my snapshot history and get the latest. Right? So I'm going to refresh my dev test environment with the latest snapshot for my production. Then I'm going to do the mounts snapshot set. Pass the history ID. So this is the latest snapshot I've taken. As you can see, I choose a new path. So I didn't go to any other console. Everything from the Windows machine. So once I finish this, I can see that I have created a clone, attached the new volume to this host, and I created the disk, and I have the Y all within a second. Right? So I can go to D and data, and I can see, oh, this is my database is refreshed. Right? If you finish and you want to just dismount this, we have something else for you. So you just need to put the mount into a variable and then dismount the snapshot set. And just like that, once you click it, you're just going to see the Y drive disappear. All without even leaving my PowerShell. There you go. The Y disappear. Okay. Let me go back. So a couple of things I just want to have as a segue here. So just to iterate again, the main three functions, the new BSP volume set. So this is where I can group my volumes for a single server, or for the volumes that attach to the same virtual machine in one persistent group. I can pass here the volume type. So for now, we support the vVols, RDMs, or Ingress iSCSI, or the virtual fiber channels if you have a Hyper-V, you want to do some VHBA. So this is the only thing we support for the beta release. The second thing is the second command, which is the most important one, then invoking the snapshot job. As I mentioned, you can declare your volume set, declare the drive letters you want to take the snapshot for, and then select the protection group. The last one I'll mention here is the mount snapshot set. This is where I want to mount those snapshots I've taken to the same local machine or to a remote machine. So it can be to the same production group or to a different one. All right, so since this is a beta release, we would love for you guys to go and try it out. And I put here the link for where you can access the community page. We have a community page in Pure Storage where we actually post there some. You can see other users post their questions in the forum. Or this is exactly how we're going to be collecting the feedback. Or also you can see the blogs we have there. So recently we have posted a blog about this. So you can go and see everything down there. And we would need to hear out your opinion, right? Because now we're supporting only Windows. So we just want to think: do you want Linux support? Do you want pure vSphere plugin supportability as well, so you can have this embedded into the vSphere client? So yeah, please let us know. And thank you for your time. Thank you. I will be around here if you have any questions. I have if you want to go into live demo, I have my sessions already. My remote sessions still enabled. So yeah, I will be around here, or in Pure Storage 505 in the expo. Thank you.